Hopefully we don't get a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia, because that would be stupid. But now I'm thinking about what kind of money is Kevin Kolb going to get when his contract is up, because he's playing like the quarterback of the future right now, which is obviously what Philadelphia wants. But what if these last two games were a fluke? What if he's really not good and these last two games are enough to get him a big contract and then he's not good? What then? That's kind of the main thing I'm concerned about. In the short term, it's great. I mean, the Eagles won 34-14, dominating win. Kevin Kolb played great. Deshaun Jackson made big plays. The defense played well. I mean, there was this one shotgun 4th and 1 stupid thing that the Eagles did, but they pretty much dominated this game like I was pretty sure they would. And there's really not a lot to say here. I just wonder what the future holds for Kevin Kolb. As for the Chiefs, well, I think that head coach has really lost his locker room, and this is not going to end pretty. It's going to end with somebody fired before they really get a chance to coach the team, and that's never fun. And I really don't know where else to go with this Chiefs team. They feel so irrelevant, and I don't know what else to tell you. Giants, Buccaneers, pretty slow game, but you know, as somebody who put a parlay together with the Giants and the Packers and I think the Ravens, very happy about that, because all those teams destroyed their far inferior opponents. The Giants ran the ball excellent, although Jacobs he's the kind of running back who's going to burn himself out early in his career. So when it comes to giving him a big long-term contract, I would really be careful, because you can even kind of see it now. He's not what he was last year or the year before. He was a monster these last 2 years. Now you can kind of see maybe the wheels are running thin, because he does run that style. So I'm a little concerned about that, but the Giants are running the ball fine. Their offense is working. And Tampa, I knew they would be bad this year, but they are bad. I mean, if you watch those games, the Tampa Bay games, you see how awful Byron Leftwich is. If you look at the stats, you might think to yourself, well, he's not that bad, but he makes some throws that are like Jamarcus Russell light. He's not as bad as Jamarcus Russell, but he makes those same kind of stupid throws. He really does. And it's, I personally like the concept of giving a rookie quarterback a chance to start in his rookie season. But Josh Freeman, if the Buccaneers are honestly willing to start Josh Johnson before Josh Freeman, then I honestly must think Josh Freeman must be completely unprepared to start in an NFL game. So, I don't know, but maybe they're doing what's right for their particular quarterback, because it's on a case-by-case basis, admittedly, but it's funny to me how it seems like Josh Freeman is completely unprepared for the NFL. Maybe even a little suspicious, but, we'll give him a chance. 49ers, Vikings. I had my good share of laughs at the 49ers, because, of course, I don't like them. And on the message boards I hang out on, there are some annoying Niners fans. So I had my laugh, but, you guys were classy about it. I mean, this was a tough loss. It was on a, very fluky play at the end, I'll admit it. It was a miracle, a little bit of a fluke, and the Vikings had to get a little lucky to win, but you guys were classy about it. You didn't throw a tantrum like certain teams who root, certain fans of a black and gold team whose team just won the Super Bowl last year, yet they throw a tantrum because their team lost 2 games in a row. You guys were classy about it. You took it like a man, and I can respect that. And I'll say the last play of the game by Minnesota, yeah, that was a little fluky, but at the same time, that field goal block for a touchdown you guys had, that's just as fluky. So it goes both ways. It was a great game. I don't want to accuse either team of getting a win that they didn't deserve. So at the end of the day, Minnesota came out on top. Obviously, the Niners lost Frank Gore. They didn't give up without Frank Gore, and that's commendable, but really what this game comes down to is the Vikings not letting the 49ers convert on third down. The Niners were like 0 for 11 on third down. It was something awful like that, and that was the game right there. I mean, Vernon Davis had a nice game. I don't think Glenn Coffey did much, but that's pretty much expected. Sean Hill played okay. The defense made some plays. The special teams obviously had the second biggest play of the game, but at the end of the day, Brett Favre had a nice game. I think he threw way too much, but he'll have many opportunities later this season to not throw nearly that much. And he pulled Brett Favre magic out with 2 seconds left. It was an amazing throw, amazing catch, amazing play, and you gotta love to see stuff like that. And I'll say it again, Niners fans, yeah, you got unlucky on that last play. That was a little bit of a miracle play, but at the same time, you blocking a field goal and taking it back for a touchdown is just as fluky. So, the bottom line is, the Vikings won. They deserved to win. The Niners played great, and they deserved to be in that game. But the Vikings played better than you, and if you look at the third down conversion rate, I think you'll agree that that's how it is sometimes. And, this Vikings team, were they missing one of the Williams brothers? I think they might have been. If so, that's even more commendable for them playing so well, because that offense really clicking well. And I got to give it up to guys like Brad Childress, a guy that I don't respect one bit, but he has his team playing well. Without Frank Gore, I would say this game should not have been that close, but the Niners are not a bad team, so a win is a win, however you can get it. I mean, I'm going to talk more about a lot of these 3-0 teams later this week, because now we're starting to get into that rarefied, if you're 3-0, you're really good territory. Jacksonville and Houston, this AFC South is just beating up on each other. They're making it too easy for the Colts. Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee, you guys are making it way too easy for the Colts. You're beating up on each other. You're all garbage teams. You're all losing to everybody outside of the division. You're going to hand this division to the Colts on a silver platter. In fact, you know what? We might as well just give the division to the Colts right now. They might be the fastest team in the history of the NFL to clinch a division. It's madness. It's unbelievable. I mean, Houston had a chance to grab a hold of second place and really, start a chase, but you can't even beat Jacksonville at home. I don't know. I mean, it was a great game. Both offenses went back and forth. A lot of points. Andre Johnson, Maurice Jones-Drew, all those guys making plays. But, Houston, they're a lot like the Colts teams of the early aughts. The early 00s. No defense. And, they got some defensive pieces. Mario Williams, Amobi Okoye, D'Amico Ryans. But I don't know how Dunta Robinson's doing coming off that injury, but it's not a good defensive squad, and that's really what it comes down to. And, I'll give up to, Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew came to play. Garrard played pretty well, and you saved your season. You put it on life support. You're not out of the woods yet. You're still in trouble, but you saved your season by winning a close game. Tough game. And you came out on top by just outscoring Houston, and there's not much else I can say, but you're on life support now. New Orleans and Buffalo, a terrible game to watch. If you had to watch this game, I feel bad for you, but the Saints proved that they can win with defense, and I think that was more important than anything else. They proved that, their defense shut the Bills out. The Bills' one touchdown was a special teams trick play. So, really, the Saints did not need a big day from Drew Brees. They won the game with running and defense, and we haven't seen that yet this year, so I think it's very significant that they were able to do that. Very impressed with the way they did it. Now they're 3-0, and they're really starting to play with house money. These last few years for the Saints, they've lost games they should have won, found ways to blow it, and it's really put them in ugly positions down the stretch, and that's why they've missed the playoffs the last 2 years. This year, they're winning. They won their first 3 games. They didn't find any fluky way to lose. They just came out and dominated, and now they can afford to lose some games. They may not for a little while, but if they lose a couple games, they're still right there. They're still at the top of the division. They're still looking like one of the best teams in the league, and, they're fine. So, as for Buffalo, I know Edwards has a bad offensive line. I know his offensive line is young. They're doing a lot of stupid things, but with those receivers, with T.O. and Lee Evans, you should be throwing for at least 250 yards a game. You should be able to make a lot of big plays in a game, and today they just had nothing. So, Edwards, I like you. I think you're an okay quarterback, I got to see a little more. I'm just saying.